One of the most important areas to have good technique is in your acceleration. So we use a 2-point stance, wide receiver stance, just as an example. And so we'll start with one leg in front of the other. And so the key for the acceleration is getting into this front hip. So being into this front hip, this is where most of the power is going to be. We're going to push off with both legs, but really teaching the athlete how to load up this front hip. That's why we do our lunges, anything single side in the weight room, going to help us prepare us to drive that front foot. And so if the athlete isn't set, it's a little bit unpredictable what's going to happen from here. So they might sit back, they might be sloppy getting off the line. So the first option is going to be to have the athlete be in a set position. This is really good if it's a predictable time of how much time they're going to be set. And so, for example, if you're doing sprints at a track or on a football field, we're going to be here. So we're set into this hip. So we're here, it's set, and 80% of the weight's in this front foot. And we're going to set even more and then drive forward. So it'll look like here, set, and drive. In the football setting, it's a little bit unpredictable how long we're going to be in this stance for. We might be switching play, calling audible, or having some motion. So the athlete needs to be comfortable without being in a set position too long. So this is where I think some things will get a little bit overcoached. Is some coaches will want to make sure, both your feet are perfectly straight and you're in this set position for a long time. But I think it's a little bit tough for the athletes. So we'll see a lot of athletes do is they might have this front foot in a little bit and take what's called a false step. Now, I've seen a lot of coaches try to coach away from this false step, but they might not understand that it can actually benefit the athlete. So if we're closed off on this front foot and we're looking at the ball, what we're going to do is it's called the repositioning step. And so we're not completely set yet, but we're not in a bad position. And so as the ball is snapped, what you're going to do is a quick repositioning step. So now that they're set. And so having this front foot closed, it just keeps a little bit of activation through the adductor and to the core, where you can stand in this position and be comfortable for 30 to 40 seconds, rather than here, you might lose your balance a little bit, find it a little bit harder to maintain. So if we're in this closed position, as the ball snapped, we take a minor repositioning step. I wouldn't necessarily try to coach away from that. I don't mind it. And you'll even see a lot of the pros at the high level do it. So for the athlete, if they're waiting for a long time, ideally you might be set like this, but if they're up here, and we're going to say. And the last thing we'll talk about is rolling off the front foot. Now, I've seen this be coached, and it can be really challenging to coach just by saying roll off the front foot. I think this is an advanced technique that is not necessarily important to even coach, but if you want to coach or want to understand it, this is just how it actually works. And so rolling off the front foot, if some people says that, it might be something like that. But what actually is happening is we're in a set position. We're loading, but as we're loading, we're keeping the ankle set and we're shifting onto the forefoot. And so ankle staying in the same position, we're shifting onto the forefoot and driving. And so if you don't have good tension through your hips and ankles, what's going to happen is as you shift into the forefoot, you have no tension, your heel's going to go back down before you drop. But what we can do if we have good tension is we're actually in a set position, we're shifting onto the forefoot, and we're driving forward. So it'll look like this.